Welcome to last two chapters of Canto 4, the concluding active pastimes of the Pracetas. The fourth canto principally talks about four category of people, four people actually. The first few chapters talks about Daksha. Then we talk about we hear about Dhruva. Then we hear about Prithu Maharaj. Finally, we hear about the Pracetas. The story of Prachinabari is like a side story, in between story, but main story is the Pracetas. So these four personalities represent the four kinds of devotees: devotee in the mode of ignorance, devotee in the mode of passion, devotee in the mode of goodness, and devotee in the mode of pure goodness. So Daksha represents the devotee in the mode of ignorance. He is also practicing bhakti, but cannot tolerate somebody else's spiritual progress. He could not take Lord Shiva's position superior to him. He wanted Shiva to be inferior to him, something like that. That is the nature of a devotee in the mode of ignorance. And devotee in the mode of passion is like Dhruva. He approached Lord Vishnu with a material ambition. Artho, Jignashurarthati, they are in the mode of passion. So in that way. And then devotee in the mode of ignorance, sir, in the mode of goodness is Prithu. So from, of course, Prithu himself is Lord's expansion, but the way Prithu Maharaj showcased himself as the king of the subjects, performing hundreds of yajnas for the welfare of the people, and which caused conflict between Prithu and Indra, and so many things happened, etc. That is the nature of mode of goodness. The mode of goodness, bhakti, is all about purifying oneself from all the karma bandhan and working for the welfare of the society in general. These are all the symptoms of mode of goodness. And also working hard for attaining liberation. Prithu Maharaj, having gone to forest, he performed severest of all the austerities. What is the maximum limit of Vanaprastha austerities that he performed? So that kind of forceful dedication is there for the people in the mode of goodness. So in that way. Now, Prachetas will represent a devotee in the mode of pure goodness, complete dedication to the Supreme Lord. So especially their prayers are an example of such kind of pure devotional sentiment or temperament. So I have put the example in the mode of pure goodness is three personalities: Prachinabari, Lord Shiva, and Narada Muni. Because Lord Shiva gives the Rudra Gita, and Narada Muni speaks about the entire story of allegorical story of Puranjana. So in that way, these three devotees all fall in the category of pure goodness. So this is how the fourth canto gives us an example. So what is the meaning of devotee in the mode of ignorance, devotee in the mode of passion, devotee in the mode of goodness and pure goodness? Their activities, the life activities, and their prayerful mood are an example will give us. And these all these prayers and all their activities will act like a parameter for us to evaluate where we are standing currently. So we can examine ourselves, comparing ourselves with the activities and the personalities and behaviors of all these devotees. So that's how Bhagavatam helps us. So now let us begin. What happened to the Prachetas who had gone to perform austerities, and the way they met Lord Shiva, they heard the Rudra Gita, and what did they do afterwards? So that is mentioned in this chapters, last two chapters. And how did they attain perfection? What kind of perfection they attained, etc. So in the 30th chapter, the Prachetas, by praising the Lord, obtain a boon from the Supreme Lord. They leave the water, burn the trees, they marry the daughter of the trees, and then rule the kingdom happily. So their austerities, their darshan of Lord Vishnu, their prayers, their marriage, their children, their rule, everything is mentioned in this chapter. The next chapter talks about their Vanaprastha order and their perfection. So that's how the two chapters conclude the story and pastime of the Prachitas. So in that way. So this is the breakdown of the entire chapter. The discussion again restarts by an inquiry made by Vidura and Prachitas austerities, the darshan of the Lord, their Lord's reply and their prayers, their marriage, rule, everything is the discussion of this chapter. Vidura desires to hear the rest of the story concerning the Prachetas after hearing about the deliverance of their father Prachinabari by Narada's instructions, which has narrated in the middle of the discussion of the Prachetas. Prachetas is the main story, and Prachinabari story comes in between, and it is completed. Now Pracheta story is continued. So that is continued by the question asked by Vidura. Vidura wants to hear that story, so he expresses his desire. हे त्वया विहिता ब्रह्मन् सुता प्राचीनबर्हिषा ते रुद्रगीतेन हरिं सिद्धिम् आपो प्रतोष्यकाम्. Hare Krishna, summary the translation.
Vidur inquired from Maitreya, O Brahmana, you formerly spoke about the sons of Prachinabari and informed me that they satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead by chanting a song composed by Lord Shiva. What did they achieve in this way?
Yeah. Hare Krishna, able to see the slides?
Yes, yes,
Ah,
Prabhupada.
okay. So Vidura is saying that, O Brahmana, what did the sons of Prachina Barhi, whom you mentioned, attain after satisfying the Lord by chanting the song of Lord Shiva? So Lord Shiva spoke Rudra Gita and told them to worship Lord Vishnu by chanting this Rudra Gita. So you did not tell what happened to them. Please tell me. You talked about their father's liberation, but now please talk about their liberation. What happened to them, etc. Satisfying the Lord, what boon did they receive? So in that way. Then it continues. किं बार्हस्पत्येह परत्र वाता कैवल्यनाथा प्रियपार्श्ववर्तिनाम् आसाद्य देवं गिरिशं यदुच्चया प्रापूपरं नूनमत प्रचेतसा.
My
Please
dear,
read. Hmm.
My dear Barhaspatya, what did the sons of King Barishat, known as the Prachetas, obtain after meeting Lord Shiva, who is very dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the bestower of liberation? Certainly, they were transferred to the spiritual world. But apart from that, what did they obtain within this material world, either in this life or in the other lives?
Hmm. O disciple of Brahaspati, O bestower of liberation, Kaivalyanatha, what excellent benediction did the Prachetas, dear associates of Lord Shiva, achieve in this world and in the next after meeting him by the will of providence? So, what did the Prachetas attained in this life and in the next life having met Lord Shiva? So, this was the complete inquiry. O disciple of Brahaspati, he is calling him as Maitreya as Barhaspatya. So, if you remember, in the third canto, 8th chapter, there was Guru Shishya Parampara of Kumara Sampradaya. The four Kumaras traveled from Mahatloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, from Tapaloka all the way up to Lord Shesha, who was holding the entire Bhumandala down below Patala Loka. And they had heard the entire Bhagavatam from Lord Shesha, who was continuously singing the Bhagavatam while holding the Bhumandala. And they in turn spoke the same Bhagavatam to Sankyana Rishi, and Sankyana Rishi spoke the same Bhagavatam to Parashara as well as Bruhaspati. Both of them were his students. And Bruhaspati spoke the same Bhagavatam to Maitreya as well as Uddhava. Both Maitreya and Uddhava were the disciples of Bruhaspati. It is well known that Maitreya and Uddhava became the disciples of Bruhaspati to obtain some particular knowledge. They have heard Bhagavatam from Bruhaspati. So that's why it's called as Barhaspatyeha. So it's like that. What best thing did the Prachetas obtain in this world and in the next world? What did they do to meet with Lord Shiva? What is the description of the Prachetas who got the mercy of Lord Shiva? What was the pious activity that they have done, that they had the good fortune of meeting Lord Shiva, and they had received good instructions, following which what did they obtain in this life and in the next life? So like that. A complete question about the Prachetas. Please talk about them in full. So this was the inquiry made by Vidura. And in the next, Maitreya describes what did the Prachetas do, having heard Rudra Gita. Maitreya Uvacha Prachetaso Anta Udadau Pitur Adeshakarinah Japayajnena Tapasa Puranjanam Atoshayan.
The great sage Maitreya said, the sons of King Prachinabarhi, known as the Prachetas, underwent severe austerities within the sea water to carry out the order of their father. By chanting and repeating the mantras given by Lord Shiva, they were able to satisfy the Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Maitreya is saying that following the instructions of their father, Pitur Adeshakarina, they have gone to ocean, Andar Udadav, within the water. The Prachetas performed severe austerities and eventually they satisfied the Supreme Lord by chanting Lord Shiva's prayer and also by performing austerity. Japayajnena and Tapasa. Bhagavad Gita Lord Krishna says, Yajnanam Japayajnosmi. Among all the yajnas, I am Japayajna. And we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra and Prachetas were chanting Rudra Gita. That was their Japayajna. And as a result, and also they were performing severe austerities, being submerged in the water, inside the water. As a result, they will satisfy the Supreme Lord. Are they satisfied the Supreme Lord? The Supreme Lord will give is darshan. So in that way. Thus they satisfy the Supreme Lord by chanting Lord Shiva's prayer, Japayajna, the Rudra Gita. By continuously chanting Rudra Gita, they performed severe austerities within the waters of a ocean for a long time. For how long time? That is mentioned in the fourth verse. Deva Sahasrante Purushastu Sanatana Tesham Avirabhut Krichram Santena Samyatamrucha. Please someone read the
At the
translation.
At the end of 10,000 years of severe austerities performed by the Prachetas, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to reward their austerities, appeared before them in his very pleasing form. This appealed to the Prachetas and satisfied the labor of their austerities.
Mm. After 10,000 years, Deva Varsha Sahasrante, the eternal Supreme Lord appeared to them and mitigated their austerities by his soothing beauty. Here it is mentioned that Deva Varsha Sahasrante, not human years, Deva Varsha of the Devatas, they performed austerities for 10,000 years. Sorry, sorry, Dasha Varsha Sahasrante. I'm sorry. 10,000 years, 10,000 human years only, not Devata years. After 10,000 years of tapasya, hard tapasya, they had the darshan of Lord. When they had darshan of the Lord, they completely forgotten whatever hardships they went through. So it is like that. Shant, Shantena means, I mean, it's supposed to be Shantaya. But they became completely pacified. While performing it is a so much painful thing. But when they had darshan of Lord Vishnu, they are completely satisfied and completely pacified. So it is like that. Now, What kind of form they saw? The beauty of Lord's form is described briefly in the next three verses. Suparna skandam arudo meru shringam ivambudo pītavāsā manigrīvā kurvan vitimirādisha.
The personality of Godhead appearing on the shoulder of Garuda seemed like a cloud resting on the summit of the mountain known as Meru. The transcendental body of the personality of Godhead was covered by attractive yellow garments, and his neck was decorated with a jewel known as Kaustubh Mani. The
Hmm.
bodily effulgence of the Lord dissipated all the darkness of the universe.
This is the beauty of the form that appeared to the 10 Prachetas. Riding on the shoulders of Garuda, the Supreme Lord Vishnu appeared like a cloud on the peak of Mount Meru. So Garuda is compared to Mount Meru, seems to be golden in color, and the Lord Vishnu is compared to a cloud, like newly monsoon cloud, Shama Varna, Shamava Data, Neela Mega Shama. So in that way. And then he is wearing yellow cloth, Pitavasa, with a jewel around his neck, Manigriva, that is our Kaustuba jewel, and he illuminated all the directions. Kurvan, Vitimira, Disha. So the golden Mount Meru, on the peak of Mount Meru. He appeared like a cloud on the peak of Mount Meru. So Garuda appear seems to be like golden Mount Meru, and Lord was appearing to be like a cloud. He was wearing yellow cloth, and he was also bedecked with Kaustubamani on his neck. So this is the beauty of Lord's form. And further details of Lord's beauty are mentioned in the next verse. काशिष्णुना कनकवर्णविभूषणेन व्राजत्कपोलवदनो विलसत्किरीटा आस्तायुधैरनुचरैर्मणिभिः सुरेन्द्रैः आसेवितो गरुडकिन्नरगीतकीर्ति.
The Lord's face was very beautiful, and his head was decorated with a shining helmet and golden ornaments. The helmet was dazzling and was very beautifully situated on his head. The Lord had 8 arms, which each had a particular weapon. The Lord was surrounded by demigods, great sages, and other associates. These were all engaged in his service. Garuda, the carrier of the Lord, glorified the Lord with Vedic hymns by flapping his wings. Garuda appeared to be an inhabitant of the planet known as Kinnaraloka.
Yeah. Lord's cheeks shone brightly because of his bright gold earrings with colorful gems. Kashishuna Kanakavarna Vibhushanena. So Lord has two Makara Kundal, which are bedecked with gold and gems, diamonds, as a result of which the two cheeks of the Lord are brightly shining. The light is reflecting from the jewels in the Makara Kundala, which is brightening the cheeks of the Lord. On his head was a brilliant crown, Vilasat Kirita. He was served by 8 weapons. The form of the Lord is 8-handed Vishnu. So the 8 weapon personified forms are serving the Lord, and the servants are there, Jaya, Vijaya, Nanda, Sunanda, etc. So many great sages also assembled along with Lord Vishnu, and all the devatas, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu also assembled there in the ether. Garuda and Kinnaras sang his glories. So Garuda sang Lord's glories by flapping his wing, and all the Kinnaras also sang his glories by glorifying the Lord. Like, just like whenever some interesting occasion is happening, Gandharvas are singing, Apsaras are dancing, same thing is happening here. So all the sages and the devatas assembled there to glorify the Supreme Lord. So it's like that. His cheeks shone because of the earrings of gold studded with various colorful jewels. So further, his beauty continues. पीनायताष्टभुजमण्डलमध्यलक्ष्म्या स्पर्धाश्रिया परिवृतो वनमालयाध्या बर्हिष्मता बर्हिष्मता पुरुष आह सुतान् प्रपन्नान् पर्जन्यनाडरुतया सगृणावलोकः.
Around the neck of the personality of Godhead hung a flower garland that reached to his knees. His 8 stout and elongated arms were decorated with that garland, which challenged the beauty of the goddess of fortune. With a merciful glance and a voice like thunder, the Lord addressed the sons of King Prachina Barishar, who were, who were very much surrendered unto him.
Yeah, further details of his beauty are mentioned. Accompanied by Lakshmi, who competed with the beauty of his array of 8 long thick arms. The Lord, wearing a garland, with merciful glance, spoke to the surrendered sons of Prachinabari in a thunderous voice. Parjanya Nada Rutaya. So in that way. So in that way. So Mother Lakshmi also accompanied Lord Vishnu, it seems. And the beauty of Mother Lakshmi is competing with the beauty of Lord's arms. So in that way, that's how the it is glorified. So Lord Vishnu appeared with Mother Lakshmi, who competed with the beauty of Lord's arms, because Lord had 8 arms. So in that way, 8 arms with different weapons appearing very bright. He spoke with a voice making a sound like the clouds. Mega Gambhiraya. He had a merciful glance. Sagruhnavaloka. So Sa along with Gruhanavaloka with compassionate merciful glance upon the 10 prachetas. So now Lord is going to reply. Lord is so much pleased. His pleasure is being presented in the upcoming verses. So it's like that. Any questions? Able to follow?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Uh, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Varanam Vinitvam Badrambo Yuyam Me Nrupanandana Sauhardena Prutak Dharmas Tushtoham Sahurdena Va.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear sons of the King, I am very much pleased by the friendly relationships among you. All of you are engaged in one occupation, devotional service. I am so pleased with your mutual friendship that I wish you all good fortune. Now you may ask a benediction of me."
So all good fortune unto you. Please choose a benediction, O sons of the king, Prachinabari. By your mutual friendship, you have the same qualities. I am pleased with your friendship. So this is one thing which is peculiar in the case of the 10 prachetas. So this particular theme comes throughout this entire section. So why the devotee association plays a important role in the life of a devotee? So many times we might want to take or not want to take the association of devotees, especially the like-minded association of devotees is very much important. So in that way, so this kindly remember this: by your mutual friendship, Tuyam Sauhardena, you have the same qualities. Aprutak Dharma. Prutak means different, different, alag alag. Dharma is one's thought process or way of acting or uh, acting, etc. etc. Aprutak Dharma means all of you think similarly, all of you act similarly, all of you have only one goal. It is not that individually all of you have different, different goals. So, etc. etc. And this pleased me. Your mutual friendship, your similar qualities, same qualities, actually pleased me. I am pleased with your friendship. Tushtaham va sauhardena, saurudena. So in that way. So this particular principle, sahrudena, aprutak dharma, and will actually please the Supreme Lord. This keeps one in the pure goodness, in the status of pure goodness. So in that way. Yo anusmarati sandhyayam yusman anudinam nara tasya भ्रातृषु आत्मसाम्यं तथा भूतेषु सहृदम्.
The Lord continued, those who remember you every evening of every day will become friendly with their brothers and with all other living entities.
One who remembers you brothers, you 10 brothers, daily in the evening, Anudinam Sandhyayam, will have friendship to all beings, Bhuteshu Saurudam, and close friendship with his brothers. So it is like that. Whoever remembers your pastime every evening, they will also have close friendship with their brothers. Because whatever one hears regularly, that kind of mentality one develops. That is natural. So, so in that way, those who hear regularly the pastimes of the Prachetas, they will have thick friendship with their family members and also the entire world. So this is the understanding. So Prabhupada writes about this elaborately in the purport. In Kali Yuga, this is a very difficult thing to follow. Whether one maybe one's family member or in general outside, having a continued friendship is very difficult in Kali Yuga. So, but when one overcomes all the lower tendencies and able to continue this uh, friendship mentality with respect to one and all, that person very easily comes to the state of pure goodness. So, in that way, that is understanding. एतुमामृतगीतेन सायं प्रातः समाहिता स्तुवन्ति अहं कामवरान् दास्ये प्रज्ञां च शोभनाम्.
Those who will offer me the prayers composed by Lord Shiva, both in the morning and the evening, will be given benedictions by me. In this way, they can both fulfill their desires and attain good intelligence.
So one should remember the Prachetas every day evening, but one should remember Rudra Gita every day morning as well as evening. So that is more important. To those who with attention in the morning and the evening glorify me by the song of Lord Shiva, I will give anything they desire and glorious wisdom. Prajnam cha shobhanam. So they will get glorious wisdom. Dadami buddhiyogam tam yenamam upayantite. That buddhiyogam will be given to such kind of devotees who sing Rudra Gita both in the morning as well as evening. Basically, they will understand about the Lord in full. That is the purpose of life. As Lord Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma cha me divyam yevam yo veti tatvatah taktva deha punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. The purpose of human life, the purpose of sadhana bhakti is all about understanding the Divya Janma and Divya Karma of the Supreme Lord. Understanding which one will not take birth again. One will go back to Godhead. So that's the whole thing. And those who understand about Divya Karma and Divya Janma of the Supreme Lord, they become the wise people. They attain glorious wisdom. So in that way. I give this to others. How much more I will give it to you? So in that way. So whoever does the singing of Rudra Gita, this benediction I give them. Then all of you are together. Instead of doing individually, all of you 10 brothers who are doing it together with mutual friendship. Then how much more I am pleased by 10 of you and how much more I can award you. Please kindly understand. So like that, Lord saying. So generally Lord is pleased by doing bhakti individually, but in the case of Pracetas, they are doing together. So Lord is double pleased. So doing something together is very difficult in this material world. Especially it becomes more difficult in Kali Yuga. So it is like that. Yadyuyam pituradesham agrahishta mudanvita ato va ushati kirtir lokan anubhavishyati.
Because you have with pleasure accepted within your hearts the orders of your father and have executed those orders very faithfully, your attractive qualities will be celebrated all over the world.
So previously also we saw the same principle that Kardama Muni, following the instruction of Lord Brahma, performed severe ashtays for 10,000 years. Then he had darshan of Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu said that you will marry, the Swayambhu Manu will come with his daughter and you marry her. And then eventually you will have 9 daughters to fulfill the desire of your father. Because you have performed austerities and bhakti very nicely, I am pleased. I want to become your son. I will also appear as your son. So eventually 9 daughters were born, and when the Supreme Lord entered in the womb of Devahuti, Lord Brahma comes there and expresses his satisfaction. So, my dear son, I just wanted you to assist me because I am the creator. I want all of you to assist me. But you have done much more than that. You not only begot 9 daughters who will do the needful as the purpose of for the purpose of continuing creation, but you have become the father of the Supreme Lord. This I not instructed, but it happened by your devotional service. I am very much pleased with you. So there, Lord Brahma expressed his pleasure in relation to Kardama Muni. Here, same way, our Lord Vishnu is expressing his satisfaction with respect to the 10 Prachetas. Because you accepted the order of your father with joy, you will have attractive fame in the world. Because you followed the instruction of your father very joyfully, you will have great fame in this material world. They'll be known for rest of eternity as the famous sons of Prachinabari. So, in that way, is telling, Lord Vishnu is telling that because you followed the order of your father willingly and joyfully, you will attain everlasting fame in this material world. So, in that way, Loka Nanu means directed at the world. Same concept is mentioned in the 9th canto. Yayati, while marrying Devayani's father Shukracharya put a condition. This Sharmishta, the daughter of a king Vrishaparva, will come with my daughter as a maid servant because they had some condition, etc. etc. But you should never marry her. Something like that he said. So, but eventually married. Yati married Sharmishta also begot children also. The news came to Devayani. Devayani complained to her father. Her father cursed him to lose his youth and become old. But seeing the condition of Devayani, again he said that okay, you can trade your old age with your son, and you can have youth and you can enjoy some more time. You can lead normal life for some more time. That time, uh, Yayati requested his four sons. He had total five sons, out of which two from Devayani, three from Sharmishta, I suppose. The first one was Yadu. He said, requested Yadu, my dear son, please change my old age condition. He said that, no, no, my dear father, in my Vamsha, the Supreme Lord is going to appear. I don't want to delay anymore, because if I take your old age and you take my youth, I don't know how many years you might want to continue in this particular condition. I don't see it will become normal immediately. So I don't want to delay the appearance of Supreme Lord. So please forgive me for my impudence, something like that he said. But other reasons said, no, 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 we don't want to. We want to enjoy in this material world. Why? What is this? We don't want to accept old age. Old age is not pleasing. They did not accept. When Yayati asked Puru, the fifth son, youngest son, so Puru was very happily accepted. He said that um, just by understanding what is the thought of the father, if a son follows, he is called first class son. The second class son is he who does, being informed by the father. The third class son is like who does, but not properly. He does improperly. That kind of son is third class son. The fourth class son is who does not do. He's like the fourth class useless son. So in that way. So same thing here. You happily followed the instruction of your father. I am very much pleased with that. As a result of that, you will get unlimited fame in this world. So in that way. Bhavita Vishruta Putro Navamo Brahmano Gunai Ye Tam Atmaviryena Trilokim Puraishyati.
You will have a nice son who will be in no way inferior to Lord Brahma. Consequently, he will be very famous all over the universe. And the sons and the grandsons generated by him will fill the three worlds.
And how you will become you will attain the everlasting fame? By attaining a famous son. You will be glorified as the father of a famous son. By that, your fame will remain eternally. You will have a famous son, not less in qualities than Brahma. Anavamo Brahmano Gunai. And he will fill the three worlds with his offsprings. Yeah, three lokim Puraishati. So in that way, you will have a son who is no less than Brahma, and he will fulfill the he will fill the entire universe by different variety of living entities, and thus you will have great fame. As long as the creation continues, your fame name will be glorified in this world. That kind of great fame you will attain. So now, who is that son? How do we attain that son? That question might come in the mind of the Pracetas. Then Lord will clarify that also. He will not less than Lord Brahma in qualities. So in that way. Who is that
Hare Krishna,
son?
Prabhu.
Ah, yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, actually, if you see now, entire Bhagavatam, we have heard about Dhruv Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, all these people. But Daksha also we've heard, Sati ki episode ki baad. But Prachetas we hardly get to hear. It's only through Bhagavatam we came to know about Prachetas. Now here the Lord is telling he will become very famous. Now I don't know how many people know Prachetas. That's why I was wondering how they are famous.
Whoever knows Ramayana Mahabharata, they also know Prachetas.
Okay. No, I knew Ramayana Mahabharata, but I didn't know about Prachetas.
Even their details are also mentioned in the Ramayana Mahabharata. Of
Okay.
course, their role is not directly so much. Their role is through their son. Their son is Daksha.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
So
if
how are
people know
they are not
Daksha,
becoming
then
famous?
they should ask whose son is Daksha. Then they should know the Daksha's parents are the Prachetas. So in that way.
No, because Daksha was not a pure devotee also. It's like, Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakashipu was a demon and Prahlad Maharaj was a great devotee. So
Mm,
Hiranyakashipu became famous because of Prahlad Maharaj. But here,
mm.
Daksha was not a pure devotee also. So how will the Prachetas get fame, I'm wondering.
We will see that in the sixth canto. Sixth canto, the Daksha will come.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
from
sure,
that,
sure. That's what I know.
yeah.
But वहाँ पे भी इतना नहीं है.
See, it is not like that. See, if you only see from the point of view of bhakti and their attainment of going back to Godhead, then either Daksha or Prachetas does not seem to be so glorious.
No, because Prachetas, you said they are the examples of pure devotees, isn't it?
Yes, yes,
So,
yes.
in that way, I'm looking at Ki Prahlad Maharaj being a pure devotee, when he
Mm,
became famous, Hiranyakashipu automatically became famous. Now,
mm.
in this case, the parents are a pure devotees, but they are not visible so much outside. Whereas Daksha, who's not a pure devotee, his these things are pastimes are more
See, that's what I'm
elaborated.
saying. See, we are seeing only from the point of view of bhakti activities, whether
Huh.
somebody is pure or not. But see the activity that Daksha has done in the sixth canto, we'll see. There
Hmm.
is a immense activity. He did Brahma's seva,
Yeah, that's
which
true.
Brahma supposed to do. Brahma empowered Daksha and Daksha did on behalf of Brahma.
Yeah.
So it's a great task. It's a great service. Of course, he had some wrong notions because of which he made a mistake previously. But whatever it is, he did tremendous seva.
Hmm.
So in that way, we have to give the benefit of doubt instead of discarding him, saying that he's not a pure devotee, not like that. He's a devotee.
No, because
He's a
see,
mixed devotee.
even in the sixth canto, when the Lord comes,
Mm,
when Daksha gives the prayers, says the prayers,
mm,
Hamsa Goya prayers are coming, I think. That
mm.
time also, the Lord does not give him pure devotional service. He said, "You will create progeny," right?
Yes.
That
Mm,
is what he says and goes. So I'm not discarding Daksha. He's a great soul and is a great personality. But I was
mm.
just when comparing to other pure devotees, I was thinking in
Yes,
that way.
yes. See, this fame may not be among the devotees, but in general, the fame in the
Hmm.
world, wherein the world is mainly oriented towards performing varnashram duties.
Okay.
So one of the important thing in the varnashram duties is to continuing the legacy,
Hmm.
Srishti, continuing the
Hmm.
Srishti Kram.
Hmm.
So from that point of view, Daksha plays a vital role. Daksha is also one of the important Prajapatis.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, he is famous.
Okay.
So that fame is also accorded to Prajetas being the being the father of Daksha. So
Okay.
in that way.
Okay.
So but from fourth canto, we see Prajetas from their prayers, they display the nature of a devotee in the mode of pure goodness. We will see some prayers today and some prayers to mostly tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll see all his prayers, see the level of those prayers. Even though we may not quote those prayers many times in our regular Bhagavatam classes, many times we may quote example of Dhruva or Prahlad or other devotees. But Prachetas are also such kind of devotees. They are less known, but they are, but from Lord's point of view, they are supposed to be famous. So they may not be so much famous, but their son is famous. But unfortunately, whenever we talk about Daksha, we always say Daksha is the son of Brahma only. That was the old thing. Daksha is the
Yeah,
son of
true.
Brahma
Yeah.
in the Swayambhu Manvantara.
Ah,
But Daksha is the son of Prachetas now. From sixth
yeah.
Manvantara onwards, I mean, even from Swayambhu Manvantara onwards, later on he died and he was born again as the son of
Yeah.
Prachetas. So that is
Yeah.
the current reality. Now we should
Mm.
not call him as the son of Brahma.
Mm.
So, but that we don't remember so much. So in that
Okay.
way, we don't recognize. It's like that. Kando pramlochaya labda kanya kamala lochana tam chapa viddam jagrur buruha nrupanandana. So
The sons,
how are they going to have a famous son? That is indicated in this verse. Yes, Mataji, continue.
the sons of King Prachina Barishad, the heavenly society girl named Pramlocha, kept the lotus-eyed daughter of Kandu in the care of the forest trees. Then she went back to the heavenly planet. This daughter was born by the coupling of the Apsara named Pramlocha with the sage Kandu.
Yeah. O sons of the king, O Pracetas, a lotus-eyed daughter was born to the heavenly woman Pramlocha by the sage Kandu. The trees accepted her after Pramlocha gave her up. So here the story is like this. Who will be the wife that bears us a son who will be famous as Brahma? That was the question. This is explained in the next three verses. O sons of the king, for a long time the sage Kandu enjoyed with Pramlocha, who was sent by Indra to break his austerity. She then returned to Swarga after leaving the child in the trees. Apa Vidya means she was given up. This story was mentioned elaborately in both Ramayana as well as Mahabharata. So Kandu was a great sage. He was performing severe austerities. Indra felt insecure and also wanted to test how serious Kandu was. Then he has sent some of the Deva Kanyas, Apsaras, and Kandu was attracted to her. He married her. Eventually, she gave birth to a small child. As soon as the child is born, the lady said, "My dear sage, you take care of the child. I am going back to home. I am going back to my home." That means again she is again going back to Sargaloka. Then sage then realized I was a renunciate performing tapasya and suddenly I was attracted to this lady and got married and got a child. What is this? What am I doing? He left the child there itself and he also went another direction. The child is left unprotected. The trees which are there in the nearby forest area, in the same forest where the entire thing is happening, they took pity on the small child and they took responsibility of taking care of that child. The trees became the parents, or especially the father and mother of the child of the Kandu and Pramulucha. That is the story mentioned in the Mahabharata. So Pramlocha, after begetting a son, giving him the responsibility to sage Kandu, she returned to Swarga after leaving the child in the hands of the Kandu Muni. And Kandu Muni also did not take the responsibility. And by the way, the trees took the responsibility of the child. So in that way it is said. So in that way. Thus, she was the daughter of trees eventually.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, what do you mean by the trees take care of her? I mean, how is it possible?
We will see next. अभी हम चर्चा करेंगे. Shut Kshamaya Muke Raja Soma Piyusha Varshinim Deshinim Rodamanaya Nidadesa Dayanvita. Yes, please read the translation.
Thereafter,
Thereafter,
the child who was. Yeah, please go ahead, man.
continue. Continue.
Thereafter, the child who was left to the care of the trees began to cry in hunger. At that time, the king of the forest, namely the king of the moon planet, out of compassion placed his finger, which poured forth nectar within the child's mouth. Thus, the child was raised by the mercy of the king of the moon.
So your question is answered, Vinit Prabhu. Soma, the king of the trees, being compassionate, placed his forefinger, which poured with nectar into the mouth of the child, who was crying because of the hunger. So mother left on right side, father left on the left side, the child was crying. All the trees in the forest who could not, out of compassion, who could not tolerate the child being cried, they immediately prayed to their worshipable deity, their master, Soma. And immediately Soma appeared there, put his forefinger in the mouth of the child, because it is like that child is born, they were given the milk of the mother. So here there is no mother. So replacing the mother, Soma put his right forefinger in the mouth of the child, and she, sucking the forefinger, she experienced the nectar. So that nectar is given through that right finger. So in that way, she obtained heavenly nectar as her first food. So eventually she was nourished. One time she accepted the nectar and she became beautiful, healthy, wealthy. Everything is there because the trees prayed for Soma. So in that way, they took care of the small child. Eventually, the child was living in the forest only, and then the trees were taking care of her. She was living there. So in that way, the trees were providing nice play for nice area for playing and nice place for residing and all other things. So in that way, the trees took care of her. Of course, in the case of devatas, they will not. They don't have to worry about the growth of the children. After their birth is there, in a muhurta time, the child is becoming youth. So before the time she could become youthful, the Soma came and gave the nectar, and in no time, immediately she became a teenager. And then she was playing in that arena, etc. etc. And later at the end of this chapter, we see that, and this girl will be given in marriage to the 10 Prachetas. So that is what Lord Vishnu is forecasting in the beginning only. Just why he told everything to Kardama also in the third canto. Now Lord is telling everything to the Prachetas also. What is going to happen in the near future? So in that way.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Ah,
Sorry.
yes.
Prabhuji, this girl's son is Daksha, right? After she marries Prachetas. And Daksha's daughters, 61
Hmm.
daughters, out of the 27, he gives it to moon god.
Ah,
I mean, if you see the two generations later, daughters are given to moon god who's already there. I know it is a very weird question, but if you can explain it.
no problem. That time Moon God is not having a wife.
Yeah, but then how do we understand from our
No, you
perspective?
mean to say
Say,
because the moon god took care of the child, so he's like the
yeah,
father of the child and the
yeah, yeah,
grandchildren he
yeah, yeah,
married, something
yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So see, our rules and regulations we should not apply on the devatas.
Okay.
Whatever rules and regulations we have, these are only meant for the human beings who are living in the Bharata Varsha.
Yeah, but when the daughters of Daksha are married to moon god, that is okay.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
So I mean,
Because
so you are
okay,
like, I mean, he's marrying his great granddaughter, something like that. You are
yeah,
concerned?
yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
those rules are not applicable to Devaloka. Even for
Mm,
example, what to speak of that? Yajna and Daksha, Lord
mm,
Yajna and
mm.
Dakshina, both are appeared as brother and sister only
Yeah,
from
brother and
Ruchi,
sister.
and Prutu Maharaj and Archie also appeared together.
Satrupa and Swayambhu Manu also operate together only, no?
Ah, together, yeah. So
No, that is at least simultaneously you can say, but this is nearly with 2, 3 generations down the line. It is. That's what I was thinking.
still, our
Okay,
rules and regulations we cannot apply on them because
okay,
it's like that.
okay.
Hmm.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Ah, yes, Mataji.
The Manus, they are to be accepted as the Devtas or those belonging to the uh, Bharatvarsha. How do we see them as Devtas?
See, the Manu is as good as Devatas, but he has given the responsibility of taking care of the human beings. So he he is one among the humans. He takes care of the humans by becoming the monarch, and he gives the same responsibility to his next generations one after the other. So in that way, even the just like Devatas live for one Manvantara, Manu also lives for one Manvantara. The Manu's sons may live, may not live, but Manu is supposed to live for that one Manvantara because that is the responsibility given to that Manu to take care of the Bhuloka for the entire Manvantara period. So afterwards, he will go back to Godhead.
Okay, okay. Thank you very
Uh,
much.
Matlab, he is a human, but he is as good as Devatas. He has the same spiritual and divine qualities of the Devatas. He has the same powers also. But he is given the responsibility of taking care of the humans directly by becoming the king. So in that way, he is one among us.
Okay. Thank you.
Praja Visarga Adishta Pitramam Anuvartata Tatra Kanyam Vararoham Tam Udvahatamashram. So here it says that ordered by your father who is obedient to me to produce progeny, please go to that place and marry this beautiful young woman without delay. So Prachina Barhi told the 10 Prachetas, my dear sons, please go and perform severe austerities as brahmacharis and come home, get married and take care of the kingdom. But now Lord Vishnu knows his father already gone to forest to perform severe austerities. Now there is no father. So then your father already ordered you complete rule what to do. Go to forest and perform austerities, have and come back, get married and rule the kingdom, whether in my presence or in my absence, whatever it is. So you please go to that place where you will find this girl and marry her and fulfill the desire of your father. Something like that. To produce progeny. So in that way. Is telling. Lord Vishnu himself is telling. You have been ordered by your father, who is obedient to me. Go there and marry her. Your father is not there at home, so you don't have to seek permission from your father. You please go to the place where this daughter is being taken care by the trees and marry her, and then go home and rule the kingdom. Then you will have necessary qualification to rule the kingdom. So in that way. अपृथक् धर्मशीलानां सर्वेषां वा सुमध्यमाम् अपृथक् धर्मशीलेयं भूयात् पत्नी अर्पिताशया. This is also one again same thing. Aprutak dharma again coming. Interesting thing. The slender waisted girl, fully surrendered, with qualities and conduct similar to yours, should be the wife of all of you. Should be the wife of all of you. Sarvesham patni bhuyat. Since your conduct and qualities are of one nature. How can all of us marry one girl? Then Lord says that just like your qualities and conduct are one, though you are 10 per 10 brothers, but all of you are same. Aprutak dharma, all of you have same way think and same way act. Though you are many, your qualities and conduct are one. This is my blessing, and thus all faults visible and invisible are mitigated. You please go and marry her. People may find fault in you, but all those things will be mitigated. Eventually, they'll understand that though you are in 10 bodies, all of you are one. Same way, when Pandavas were in dilemma to how to marry one Draupadi, Yudhishthir Maharaj quotes the example of 10 Prachetas, saying that the 10 Prachetas also married one girl. So we can also marry one girl without any conflict, without any fault of the visible world. So no one can find fault within that. Hey, these five brothers are lusty and they want to marry one girl. What is this? What kind of religion they are doing like that? No one can question because there is an example, there is a precedence in the past. The 10 Prachetas under the sanction of Lord Vishnu himself married one girl. So in that way. This is how they established a unique example. That's how they became famous in this world. So then Lord Vishnu says that after marrying her, may you rule for a long time. Then you will come back to me. That's how Lord Vishnu concludes his discussion. Divya Varsha Sahasranam Sahasram Ahatau Bhaumam Bhongshayata Bhogan Vaidivyam Chanagruhnan Mama. He says that with power undiminished for 3000 Devata years, you will enjoy 1,000 earthly and heavenly pleasures by my mercy. Mama Anugrahat Divya Varsha Sahasranam. Many thousands of Devata years may you enjoy both heavenly and earthly happiness. And then you will come back to me by my mercy. Here there is some Sanskrit numbering is given. For thousands of divine years. Divya Varsha Sahasrana means actually it is for thousands of divine years. You will enjoy 1,000 or unlimited pleasures. Divya Varsha Sahasranam Sahasram Hatavjasa. 1,000 are unlimited pleasures. Here the phrase thousands of divine years means 3,000 Devata years. The plural number means 3 according to Kapinjala. Kapinjala Labena Nyaya. There is a concept in Sanskrit. 1 means 1, 2 means 2, 3 means 3 are many. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 crore, like that it increases. Any number above 3 can be said 3 or many or something like that. Ekavachan, Dvivachan and Bahuvachan. So in that way. Sahasrana means many thousands of years. How many? 3,000, at least 3,000 years. If we say 3, 3 could be 3, 3 could be 10, 3 could be 100 or anything. So in that way. So that is the understanding. So he said that you marry her, you rule the kingdom, and you will enjoy both earthly and heavenly pleasures for many, many thousands of years. At least 3,000 years. 3,000 uh, years. Divya Varsha Sahasranam. Which years? Devata years. So in that way. Then what happens? Atamai anapayinya bhaktya pakva gunashaya upayasyatamadzama nirvidya nirayat ata. O men, whose hearts have all gunas burnt up by undiminished bhakti after earthly enjoyment for 3,000 devata years, disgusted with all material places which are equivalent to hell, you will attain my abode. So then Lord also, now only is telling that you will marry her, you rule the kingdom for 3,000 Devata years with all enjoyments, and then being disgusted with all the material places and enjoyments, you will perform severe austerities once again and attain my abode. O men, in whose hearts the material gunas have been burnt up by bhakti. So by your severe austerity, severe bhakti, by your association with Lord Shiva, all contamination in your heart already burnt. Now you don't have any trace of contamination. So that you can enjoy unlimited pleasures, all the heavenly and earthly pleasures for long time, 10,000 Devata years, no issue. But eventually you will come back to me also without any issue. After enjoying the earth, you will come to my abode. Since they could not see the Lord if they still the material gunas present in them. The sentence does not mean after have burned up the material gunas by in your heart by bhakti, you will come to me. Not like that. So Lord is saying that in spite of enjoying both a humanly and heavenly enjoyment for 3,000 Devata years, still there will be no contamination in your heart because having darshan of me is a proof that you are already free of any contamination in the past itself. After my darshan, there will be no more contamination. And even though you enjoy the heavenly pleasures for 10,000, whatever, the 3,000 Devata years. So, in that way. Here there is an example of Narada Muni is given. First canto, Narada Muni's example is shown. Ho, in this body you will not be able to see me again. Lord Vishnu gave darshan to Narada the boy for once and disappeared. Then Narada was trying to get another darshan. Then Lord Vishnu speaks. So my dear boy, just to increase your hankering to attain me, I showed my darshan. But that is enough for you in this life. Next life you will get to see me every time. But other lack practitioners with contamination remaining cannot see me at all. So with any trace of contamination in our heart, we will never have Hari Darshan. Having Hari Darshan means no more material contamination. It is like that. The same thing, though Dhruva went to forest with a desire to get a kingdom greater than his great grandfather. But for following the path shown by Narada Muni, Dhruva was completely purified of all the material ambitions. Then He had darshan of Lord Vishnu. Even when Lord Vishnu tells that I will give you entire Bhuloka to enjoy for 100 celestial years, Dhruva said, please, my dear Lord, don't say like that. I don't want anything now. Swamin Kurtartosmi Varamne Ache. Now I don't have any material desires. I am very happy by having your darshan. Nothing else I want. So it's like that. That kind of transformation will take place by practicing bhakti. And if one had darshan of Lord means one already done with all material contamination. So in that way.
Uh, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Why
Yes,
the Lord
Mataji.
did not take them back immediately?
Whom?
Prachetas.
No,
Like he
they are
could have said, after you complete your 100 years, come back to me. He gave them so
Mm,
many years to enjoy. So similarly, we see in other cases also where the
mm,
Lord does not take them back immediately.
mm.
He allows them to enjoy the material world without contamination.
Because they also need to follow the instruction of their father.
Okay.
So their father's instruction is to rule and set an
Mm.
ideal example for people to come back to God. Same
Mm.
principle. Why does
Mm.
Lord come to this material world? To attract all of us.
Yeah.
And Lord also keeps some of his devotees here
Mm.
to inspire all of us to practice bhakti like them.
Mm.
So in that way.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes. Becoming disgusted with places having material identity such as Brahmaloka, which are equivalent to hell, you will attain my abode. Abrahma Bona Loka Punaravartanojuna Mamupetitu Kaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. So after ruling over the entire Bhumandala for 3000 Devata years, then you don't have any desire to go to any Brahmaloka or this loka, that loka. Being disgusted with Bhuloka, Bhorloka, Svargaloka, Maharjana, Tapas, and Satya, you will come back to me. So like that, Lord Vishnu is telling. And Lord Vishnu is concluding his discussion in the last two verses. We will see these two verses and we'll close for today. You have told them to enjoy the earthly pleasures. Same question what you are asking. Since this pleasure is equivalent to hell and unfavorable for bhakti to you, why do you force it upon us? So, my dear Lord, you are giving us 3000 Devata years to enjoy in this material world. But again, you said that the material world itself is like hell. Then why are you telling us to enjoy here? Same question they also asked. Then Lord Vishnu replies. This is one interesting verse. We will see this. Gruheshu avishatam chapi pumsham kushala karmanam madvartayatayamanam na bandaya grihamatya. Here Lord Vishnu says, householders who perform acts of devotion while spending all time in discussing topics about me, they are not bound by household life. Even though they might be living in the midst of heavenly attached, heavenly appearances, but they are not attracted to them, they are not disturbed by them because they are continuously engaged in discussing Krishna Katha. Kushalam Karmana means those who serve me. They pass their hours talking about me as a necessity of life. So it is like that. Such kind of devotees, even though living in the midst of so many appearances, they continue to do only one thing. Madvarta yata yamanam. So for hours together, they continue to discuss Krishna Katha. The meaning is this. That enjoyment which produces karma is a cause of bondage and is equivalent to hell. Even one may go to Svarga also, that is actually like hell only because that is causing bondage. One is remaining in the material world for a long time. It is unfavorable for the practice of bhakti. It does not arise from my mercy. But on the other hand, you should enjoy the earth. This is my mercy. I am myself saying that you should enjoy, and that enjoyment will not cause bondage. Otherwise, the enjoyment obtained by karma will cause bondage in this material world. So, in that way, Lord Himself is promising them, no problem, you enjoy. I will give you, you will attain perfection eventually. Because Lord want that kind of devotee should be there in this material world, so that people in general will get inspired and practice bhakti. Because otherwise, Lord will be setting only one example. Devotees means poverty cannot like that. Devotees can be also opulent. So in that way. Other types of enjoyment of the world restrict bhakti, but enjoyment ordered by me increases bhakti. Thus, it should be understood that this is enjoyment arising from my mercy and does not cause bondage. So, like that, Lord is giving assurance. Don't worry, my dear sons of sons of Prachinabhari, please go ahead. This is also seen in the case of Prutu, in the case of Prahlada, in the case of Dhruva and Manu. All these personalities also had darshan of the Lord, but eventually they continue to rule over the kingdom for many, many thousands of years in the midst of great opulences. But finally, they again attained the Supreme Lord in the spiritual abode. So, in that way, my mercy towards persons who have not burnt up material impurities is to take away their enjoyment. For those devotees who already burnt away material impurities, I'll give them unlimited wealth. Even though they enjoy, they are not bound. But for those who are attached to material wealth, but they are devotees, Lord will take away their material wealth so that they can become attracted to Supreme Lord more eagerly. यस्याहम् अनुगृह्णामि हरिष्ये तद्धनं शनै ततो धनं त्यजत्यस्य स्वजना दुःखदुःखितम्. If I especially favor someone, I gradually deprive him of his wealth. Then the relatives and friends of such a poverty-stricken man abandon him. In this way, he suffers one distress after another distress. This is Lord's mercy upon those who are attached to wealth. Lord will take away that so that they will become attached to Lord. And for those who are completely attached to a Lord, they will give them wealth unlimitedly. Anyway, they will not become attracted to that wealth. And for non-devotees, what happens? This is what happens. Tavad ragad yastenas, tavad kara gruham gruham, tavan mohong grinigado, yavat krishnana tejana. My dear Lord Krishna, until people become your devotees, their material attachments and material desires remain thieves. Their homes remain prisons, and their affectionate feelings for their family members remain foot shackles. They are bound in the material world. In either case, Hayur Arati Vaipumsham Udyan Astau Chayannasau Tasyarte Reto Kshanonita Uttama Shloka Vartayet. Both by rising and by setting, the sun decreases the duration of life of everyone, except one who utilizes the time by discussing the topics of the Supreme Lord. So devotees like you, even though ruling the kingdom, but your main activity will be discussing Krishna Katha, hearing or discussing Krishna Katha only. Then where is the bondage for such kind of devotees? So like that, Lord is trying to show an example of how a devotee ruler should be continuing in this material world, or how a person in this material world should continue by continuing discussing Krishna Katha. So like that. So in order to set such kind of example, Lord keeps such kind of devotees in this material world again and again for a long time. So it's like that. Is it clear, Mataji? Your question?
Yes, Prabhu, very clear.
So in that way. So this is the last verse for us for today. Just 1 minute. Navyavadrudaye yajna brahmaitad brahmavadibi namuyanti nasochanti narishyanti yatogata. Those who have attained my form, which is known as Brahman by the Brahmavadis, the followers of Brahman, are not bewildered. They do not lament and do not rejoice, since I, full of knowledge, have entered their fresh lotus hearts. For the hearts of devotees like you, I am always remained situated there, as a result of which they will not have shoka, moha, and bhaya. So, in that way, where is the suffering or bondage for those devotees? I reside eternally in their hearts to give them joy. My Swarupa is called Brahman by those attached to Brahman. Those who have attained that form, Yadgata, Yatragata are not bewildered. They do not have illusion, they do not have lamentation, or they do not have material joy. Since I, with full knowledge, go into the always fresh lotus hearts of those householder devotees. The devotees always eager to hear about Supreme Lord. When the devotees are hearing Supreme Lord is always there in their hearts. Pravishta Karnarandrena Swanam Bhava Saroram Dunoti Samalam Krishna Salasya Yatasharat. When one hears Krishna Katha, along with the sound vibration, the Bhagavan will enter into the heart. Though Paramatma is there in the heart, but along with Krishna Katha, Bhagavan also enters. And Bhagavan will replace Paramatma, and Paramatma is sleeping in Yoga Nidra in the heart. When Bhagavan enters, he sits or stands in order to bestow his blessings upon the devotee continuously. So in that way. Jiva Goswami says the phrase means I reside ever fresh in their hearts. So in that way. So this is the blessing of Lord Vishnu upon the Pracetas who are already pure and they continue to remain pure. And Lord said that you please go to the forest and you marry the daughter of Kandu and Pramalocha. And 10 of you should marry her because 10 of you though are in 10 different bodies, but all of you are actually one person. So in that way. And eventually you will rule the entire kingdom for 3000 Devata years while enjoying the material opulences. And finally, disgusted with all the material opulences, other positions in the material world, you will come to my abode. So these are the words spoken by Lord Vishnu unto the 10 Prachetas. I'm sorry we are late by a few minutes. So we'll stop here for today and we'll continue with the prayers tomorrow afternoon. Hare Krishna. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्तवृंद की जय.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Pranam.
Thank you very much. Dandavat pranam. Dandavat pranam. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Where are you?